Hello everyone, I am Sivahami going to handle the subject programming in C for this semester. C programming language is known as mother of all programming language present in the software industry. Even if you go for an interview, C programming language is the most basic and very important aspects which the recruiters are looking for. In these sessions, we shall discuss very important and crucial concept related to C programming language. So let us quickly start with our agenda for today's discussion. In today's session, we shall start with a brief introduction of C programming language where we learn about the history and importance of C program, followed by the basic structure of C program, finally how to write, compile and execute the C program. Let us quickly dive into an history of C programming language. As we all know that Dennis Ritchie is the founder of C programming language. Prior to C programming language, we had many other programming language such as B, Gopal, Asgal and many more, which were usually the machine level programming languages. And it was very difficult to develop Linux operating system using those machine level programming language. And this was the reason which Dennis Ritchie founded C programming language in the year 1972 at Bell Laboratories, USA. C was originally implemented on the first machine, which is in DEC BDP11. C is well known to be flexible and versatile, which allows maximum control and with minimal number of commands. And it is a very user-friendly programming language and it is highly readable. Let us see the programming languages that were developed before the C language. The root of all modern programming languages is ALGOL, introduced in the early 1960s. And it was the first computer language to use a block structure. And it also gave the concept of structured programming language to the Computer Science Society. In 1967, Martin Richards developed a language called BCPL, nothing but Basic Combined Programming Language. It's preliminary for writing system software. Followed by in 1970, Ken Thompson created a language using many features of BCPL and called it as simply B. And B was used to create early version of Unix operating system at Bell Laboratories. Both BCPL and B were called as typeless system programming language. With the help of ALGOL, BCPL and B, Dennis Ritchie developed a language called C at the Bell Laboratories in 1972. And it uses many concepts from those language and added the concept of data types and other powerful features. And it was developed along with the Unix operating system and it is strongly associated with Unix. And this operating systems, which was also developed at Bell Laboratories, was coded almost entirely in C. During 1970s, C had evolved into what is now known as traditional C. The language became more popular after publication of the book The C Programming Language by Brian and Dennis Ritchie in 1978. The book was so popular and now that the language came to be known as K&RC among the programming community. To assure that the C language remains standard, in 1983, American National Standard Institute, that is ANSI, appointed a technical committee to define a standard for C. And this committee approved a version of C in December 1989, which is now known as ANSI C. It was then also approved by the International Standard Organization, that is ISO, in 1990. And this version of C is also referred to as C89. C99 is an improved version improved versions of C programming language. All the popular computer languages are dynamic in nature. They continue to improve their power and scope by incorporating new features, and C is no exceptions. C, C++, and Java were evolved out of C. The Standardization Committee of C felt that the few features of C++ Java, if added to C, would enhance the usefulness of the languages. The result was the 1999 standard for C, and now this version is also referred to as C99, and this is the history and development of C programming language, which is also illustrated in the table format. Now we shall get into the next stage, where we will discuss the features of C programming language. The first feature of C programming language is it is a high-level programming language. Any programming language is considered as a high-level language if it is written in English or use a readable language. Now, we write programs in C language using English or use readable language, which is user-friendly and easy to understand. Followed by the first feature, the next one is structured language. C language is considered to be structured programming language as it improves the clarity and quality, and it reduces the development time for designing and programming software. Followed by this, the next feature is rich library. C language has its own library which includes most of the arithmetic and logical operations which are predefined. We just have to include the libraries which we need, and we can execute the functionality of those libraries without having to code them separately. Followed by that, the next feature is its extensibility. The program which are written in C language are extensible. Followed by this, we have the next feature, which is recursion. Recursion is the feature offered by C programming language where we don't have to write the function for multiple times. Instead, wherever we need the functions, we just have to call. It is the feature reduce the time involved in the development cycle and also improves the code functionality. Followed by this, the next important feature offered by C programming language are the pointers. Using the pointers, we can directly interact with the physical memory of the computer system. The next one is faster execution. Using C programming language, the user can execute the program faster than its predecessor. And the final feature is memory management. The C programming language offers many functions where we can dynamically and directly interact the memory of the computer system. Many functions such as malloc, calloc, realloc, and free are the dynamic memory allocating functions used in the C programming language. Here we have listed the features of C programming language in the detailed manner which we have seen in the previous slide. Before starting the ABCD of C language, you need to learn how to write, compile, and run the first C program. To write the first C program, we have to open the C console and write the following code. Now this code has to be spelled as #include stdio.h int main function open flower bracket printf hello C message C language return of 0 and close flower bracket, and this is the program written to display hello C language in the monitor. Let us see more detail about the given program. The first statement #include stdio.h. It is called as an header of files, and it is the beginning of all programs that use any input-output library functions. The printf function is defined in the stdio.h header files. Next statement is main of. The main of function is a special function used by the C to tell the computer where the program starts. Every program must have exactly one main function. If we use more than one main function, the compiler cannot understand which one marks the beginning of the program. Simply, you can say that the main of function is the entry point of every program in C language. Followed by the main, the empty pair of parentheses indicates that the function main has no arguments. The concept of arguments we will be seeing in the next chapter. Okay. So followed by the empty parenthesis, there is an open braces. That is, you can also say it is a flower bracket. Now that is the beginning of the function main, and the closing flower bracket indicates the end of the function. All the statements between these two braces form the function body. The function body contains a set of instructions to perform the given task. Let us now look at the printf functions, and this is the only executable statement of the program. Printf is a predefined standard C function for printing output. What do you mean by predefined? It is nothing but it is a function that has already been written and compiled and linked together with our program at the time of linking. In printf statement, the message which was given between the starting and the ending quotation marks will be displayed in your monitor. Note that the every statement which is present within the function body ends with a semicolon. It narrates that every statement in C should end with a semicolon mark. In this slide, we are going to learn about the basic structure of a C program. A C program is divided into different sections. So there are 6 main sections to the basic C program. The sections are documentation, link, definition, global declaration, main functions, subprograms. So now that the introduction is out of the way, let us jump to the main discussions. The whole code follows this outline. Each code has a similar outline. Now let us learn about each of this layer in detail. The first one is documentation section. The documentation section is the part of the program where the programmer gives the details associated with the program. So programmer usually gives the name of the program, the details of the author, and other details like the time of coding and descriptions in this section. Followed by the documentation, there is a link section. This part of the code is used to declare all the header files that will be used in the program. This leads to the compiler being told to link the header files to the system libraries. Followed by the link, the next one is in definition sections. In these sections, we define different constants. So in these sections, we will be using a keyword called define, which is used in this part. Followed by the definition section, the next one is in global declaration sections. The part of the code is the part where the global variables are declared. All the global variables used or declared in this part. The user defined function are also declared in this part of the code. Followed by the global. So there is a next section called main function section. Every C program needs to have the main function. Each main function contains 2 parts. Each main function contains 2 parts, a declaration part and an execution part. The declaration part is a part where all the variables are declared. The execution part begins with the curly brackets and ends with the curly close brackets. Both the declaration and execution part are inside the curly braces. Followed by the main, the next section is an subprogram sections. All the user-defined functions are defined in this section of the program. In this picture, the sections which is denoted in green color are an essential part. So without this essential part, we cannot able to write a C program. If you miss any one of this essential part, the C program will not be given successful executions. Other than this, the remaining sections are optional, so it can be used based on the user requirements. In this slide, we explain the structure of C program with an example. This is a program written to display a message called hello main. As we have seen in previous slide, in documentations we can write the author details. So here you can mention name of the program and the person who returned this program, the date and time. Followed by this, there is a statement called #include stdio.h, #include conio.h. Now this will be denoted in link sections and it is also called as a preprocessor directives. So after that, next one is in definition sections. As we told that in this sections we will be using a keyword called define. So this keyword is used to mention the constant values. So here max is a variable which always have the value 100 during the program. Next to the definition sections, so there is a global declaration sections. So here we have used a function name and as well as variable declarations. Okay, and followed by that there is a main functions. So this is the functions which is the begins of the C program and it is an entry point of your C program. So as if we told that inside the main function has been divided into two part, that is what executable part and declaration part. So here the statement int a equal to 100 is nothing but a declaration part. So here we have declared a variable which we are going to be used in the program. The statement that is printf and return will be called as an executable part. Executable part is nothing but the statement which is going to be execute and display the result. So now those statement will be comes under the executable part. So both the declaration and executable part contains in the main functions. So after that there is a subprogram functions which is nothing but user defined functions. Here user will define the functions as per his requirements. So that's all about the structure of a C program. In this slide we are going to discuss about programming style. C is a free form language, that is, the C compiler does not care where on the line we begin typing. While this may be the license for bad programming. First of all, we must develop the habit of writing programs in lowercase letters. C program statements are written in lowercase letters. Here, uppercase letters are used only for symbolic constants. There can be more than one statement on a single line. This style makes the program more difficult to understand and should not be used. So we should have a habit of writing each statement on a separate line. Good programming makes our program easier to read, easier to change, easier to debug and test the program. In this slide, we shall discuss about executing a C program. For executing a C program, we should follow these 4 steps. First step, creating the program. Second, compiling the program. Third, linking the program with functions that are needed from the C library. And final step is executing the program. So we must follow these 4 steps to create, compile and execute a C program. An operating system is a program that controls the entire operation of a computer system. All input and output operations are channeled through the operating system. The operating system is going to be act as an interface between the hardware and the user that handles the execution of user programs. So here this picture narrates the process of compiling and running a C programs which is controlled by an operating system. Now this picture explains the 4 steps which we have seen in the previous slide. The first step is creating the program. Before creating the program, we have to make our system ready. After system is ready, we have to start creating and programs. So here we have created the program in the name called sample. So now the file name is sample.c. Here sample is a file name. C is an extension of C programming language. Here the .c denotes that. So this is the file that contains C programming code. After creating the program, the next step is compiling the program. So for compiling the program, we will be using an C compiler. Now this compiler compile our source program which is written previously. Okay. So during the compilizations, it will check syntax errors, whether we have commit any syntax error in the program. If there is no error, it will process to the next step. Else it will show an error and we have to go back to our program and we have to correct our error, and then again we have to start compile our program using a C compiler. So after successful compilation, the next step is in linking the program. For linking the program, here we will be using a system library. So in order to, suppose if we are writing in program which contains and printf statements to display any messages on the monitor, the definitions of printf statements will be written in the stdio.h file. Now that file will be linked to our program in this time. Okay. So now our file will be converted into sample.obj. So obj is nothing but it is an object code. So before sample.c, it will be called as a source code. Now after compilations, our source code will be translated into an object code. Okay. Now after successful linking the program with functions that are needed from the C library, we will be move on to the last step called executing the program. So here we will execute our program in the name called sample.exe file. After linking process done, now the file will be converted as a exe file. Okay. Now the exe file will be executed. So here it will check and logical mistakes. Suppose if we committed any logical mistakes, then again we have to go back to the first step for creating a program. So we have to again open our source program and we have to rectify our errors. And then again we have to come back to the compiler. We have to compile the program. Then again we have to move on to the next step called linker sessions, and finally we will be execute the program. Suppose if we didn't find any other logical mistakes during the execution of executing the program, So we will get an correct outputs. So if we got an correct outputs, now the program will come to an end. So after displaying the correct output, the program will abort the normal executions. So this is the process of compiling and running an C program. Students, I hope you might have understood about the introductions about C programming language, basic structure of C program, and how to execute an C programs. Suppose if you have any queries regarding these topics, kindly post your queries in the Google Classroom and your queries will be clarified before the next class sessions. Okay, so now I have given you an assignment. So in this assignment you are going to write 3 questions. So first one is describe the structure of C program. So you can describe the structure of C program with an example in detailed manner. The next question is you are going to elaborate the features of C programs. So we have seen an important features of C program. So you have to list out one by one and you can give your explanations. And third question is explain the various steps involved in executing a C program. In the previous slide, we have seen 4 serial steps to execute a C program. So you have to write 4 steps and you have to explain in with a neat diagram. So this is an assignment for you. So kindly write answer for these questions in your notebook. And after writing this, you just scan your answer and post it in the Google Classroom. Thank you, students.